Shalom. It's the brother Gamal Allah out of GMS ATL, giving all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, also giving double honors to the apostles and the elders that rule well, and also shalom to all the Akim that are pushing out this truth and sincerity. This is basically a video on the upcoming elections, alright, and basically just the impending martial law and race riots that will occur as a result of the elections. All right, I'll go ahead and just go into the articles. All right, unrest and martial law. This is off Survivalist News Network. It's probably a third-party truther, third-party news outlet. Unrest and martial law. Leaked military drill anticipates no rule of law after election results. All right, it says this tip came through back channels. Its implications are astounding. Let me see. According to an unnamed source who has provided accurate intel in the past, an unannounced military drill is scheduled to take place during a period leading up to the election and throughout the month after. All right, now we're really close to the election. All right, today is Friday, November 4th. The election is going to be on November 8th. All right, so we're about 4 days away from the election. Let's see, it says it appears that the system is gearing up to handle outbreaks of violence, chaotic rallies, and poll stations, and the possibility that people of the United States may become very dissatisfied with the outcome by using military force and martial law. All right, so as you see, all right, it says people will be very dissatisfied with the outcome. Now, you're gonna have that on both sides of the token, right? Because on one side, if Hillary wins, all right, all these Trump supporters, all these gun-toting crackers, right? They're basically going to, they're gonna get upset. A lot of these Trump supporters are rednecks, all right. The rednecks, they basically, they love America, right, and they stand for America, right. Now on the other side of the token, you got Hillary, all right, and who's backing Hillary? The gays are backing Hillary. You got the so-called blacks that are backing Hillary, all right. Really, Jake as a whole is backing Hillary, because Jake has always been a Democrat, in the past voted Democrat, right? So their support, they're with Hillary, all right? Because and really the reason why they now I won't say all Jake, but if Jake had to vote, they're gonna vote for Hillary, right? So, um, I mean, you got some Jakes that are just like, they either want Obama to stay in office, or they'll just say something like, well, I'm just not gonna vote because I don't like either of the options, right? Because this is the worst. If elections really, if people's votes really made a difference, this would be one of the worst choices that America has ever had. I mean, you have a woman, right, which is a joke in itself. The fact that you have a woman that's getting ready to be a president, all right, and then you have Trump on the other hand, who's a celebrity figure and just basically a fool, I mean, you go to his rallies. I mean, this guy's just a complete joke. All right, he. See, both of these leaders, so-called leaders, they're not fit to handle foreign affairs, right? Because these other nations, right? I mean, these other nations, they already look at America as a joke, but especially with them in office, they're gonna lose even more. They're gonna lose the little respect that they had for America. You know, they're gonna lose that little bit of respect because, um, like I said, these leaders that are going to be in office, they're not fit to handle public affairs. They don't. It's just not. They're not gonna. It's not gonna work out well. And then you got Vladimir Putin. He already declared that um, if Hillary gets in office, right, it's going to be an all out. It's going to be an inevitable war, right? And he said that. All right. Now it says the drill could, of course, go live at any time. Homeland Security and the military are preparing to contend with a period of unrest and restore order. See that? Restore order, because order out of chaos. Order out chaos. Right? That's what they're gonna do. Um, Restore order to a divided and broken country. See that? Regardless of whether people like their leader, their new leader or not. See? And like I said, on both sides of the coin, you're going to have conflict. All right, whoever gets elected, you're definitely going to have conflict. You're going to have because even at Trump rallies, or I guess I should say Hillary rallies, right? They're straight up attacking Trump supporters, right? They're straight up attacking Trump supporters, right? So this is what's going on. All right, so we have to, us being um, watchmen and being diligent and knowing the truth. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and bring out a precept, but you know, we have to be mindful of what could happen, because anything could happen following these elections, or even you know during the announcement of the election. All right, it could be a straight up false flag. All right, and that's how we know we're at the end of this thing. Because look at who's in office. You could just look at who's in office and to know that we're at the very end of this thing. Okay. All right, and then you even look at movies like Purge, um, Purge election year, right? Because there was a lot of symbolism. There was a lot of parallels between this election, right? Because Purge, the Purge that just came, the Purge that just came out, is called Election Year, right? And there were, if you look it up, all right, there was a lot of similarities and parallels between that movie and now, because we already know predictive programming. We already know that they put things in the movies, right? Before they put things in the movies and media, right, before it happens, right? So this is this is 2 Corinthians. All right, the 2 Corinthians 2 and 4. All right, for out of much affliction, Slovakia. I don't think it's 1 Corinthians. Slovakia. 1 Corinthians. Slovakia. 2 and 4. Okay. 2:11. It's 2:11. For what man knoweth the things? It's lucky. I just had it. I'm slacking. It's 2 Corinthians uh, 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Right? So Satan's not going to get an advantage of us, right? Because we're not ignorant of his devices. We know what's going on. We know what to expect from this devil. What do you expect from the devil? Wickedness, all right? Deception, right? Uh, Murder, mass murder, uh, new world order agenda. These are all the things that we expect from the devil. All right, we are expecting this, but the average, person, they're not awake. They're not awake to, what's really going on. All right, they believe that their vote matters. They believe that if Hillary wins, all right, Hillary is their is the better is the safer candidate, right? Now reading on, it says, now this is the information that was leaked by the military informant. All right, I got some gouge from a former military colleague who was in contact with active duty personnel. He received an email about an upcoming drill. We need confirmation on this, but if we put it out there, we might get a leaker to come forward and confirm. All right, so look, October 30th to 30 days after the election, suspected region, Northeast, specifically New York, of course. All right, now look at this. First phase, no rule of law. All right, drill involving combat arms in metro areas. Active and reserve. Source says active duty and reserve service members are being vaccinated as if they are being deployed in theater. All right, so you can expect one thing to expect. All right, is you're gonna see these military officers. You're gonna see a lot of people carrying guns because they know that you know after the election, immediately following the election, there's going to be chaos. There could be riot. There's definitely going to be fights. There's going to be, and really this could kick off the race war too, especially if there's a Jake that gets killed. All right, around this time frame, there's most definitely there most definitely could be a race war if a Jake you know gets killed by a cop and it gets blasted in the media. All right, and that could immediately follow the election. That's gonna set Jake off. If Trump gets in office and another Jake gets bodied, all right, that's definitely going to Jake is most definitely going to retaliate from that. Second phase, limited rule of law. All right, military slash FEMA consolidating resources. All right, controlling water supply. See, handing out to public as needed. See that? All right. Third phase, authoritarian rule of law, which we already know. That's basically full on martial law. Possible new acronym for the term martial law. See, curfew, restricted movements, basically martial law scenario. So as you see, too, is that you know this martial law it's phases. It's gonna be phases. You're not just gonna have full on martial law. All right, you're gonna have because that's how Esau works. It's all a system. All right, so you're gonna start out. with, I mean, just like the Boston bombing, all right, that took place, all right, and they did the martial law drills, all right, they did the military drills, all right. Now that they've been slowly prepping you to get used to seeing riot, um, how do I say, military riot, uh, um, troops, you know. All right, they've been prepping you to see that, so this is nothing new to you now. So it's a lot easier for them to just roll out and just get busy, because I mean you're already, it's normalcy biased. All right. I think that's pretty much it on that. And of course, you know, we have the World War that's on the horizon. So I mean, it's a lot going on. All right, now I mean, if we ain't at the end, man. um, all right, now this is bring out some more precepts. Probably close out, but this is it's like this is Second Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right, so woe to them that dwell, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. So that's all the inhabitants, everyone, right? Because the wrath of the Lord, right, is going to be felt by everyone. I don't care where you are. All right, now mainly America's going to get destroyed. The whole world isn't going to get destroyed, but of course you're going to have areas that will be nuked outside of the U.S. All right, and you're also going to have areas. You're going to have certain areas that won't be, you know, obliterated by the nuclear weapons, but that destruction is still going to hit them, because everything is going to be knocked. I mean, everything's going to be low. The whole world is just going to be low. All right. Um, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. See, the sword. The sword is those nuclear arms. All right, and one people shall stand up and fight against another. Now that's those race wars. All right, that's the race wars right there. All right, and those race wars are going to kick off with Jake and Esau. All right, that's going to be the main. That's going to be the main standoff. All right, it's Jake versus Esau, and then, of course, Jake is going to fight Esau. See, Jake is going to fight Esau on a carnal level, but the men of the Lord, we're fighting Esau on a spiritual level. See what I'm saying? We're all fighting the same fight. We're also going to fight carnally, but right now we're fighting spiritually. See what I'm saying? So, you know, one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Right? So that's, let me see. All right, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. See? And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And why is that? That's because martial law. Right? They're going to put restrictions on where you can go. All right, and that's really that third phase of martial law, which is authoritarian rule of law. Authoritarian, that word authority, Matter of fact, let's go. Let's look up that word authority. Let's look up that word authority. It goes back to the word authorité, Old French autorité, and it says authority, prestige, right, permission. All right. So everything you do, you're gonna have to. Oh, look at this intervention. All right. Everything you do, you're gonna have to get permission, which you got to get permission anyway, because that's what your license is. You got to get permission to do everything, license and permits. All right, but this is going to be magnified. All right, we're already under an authoritarian government, but like I said, it's going to be it's going to be a lot worse. The shackles are going to get tighter. All right, so that's basically what's going to go down, man. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, their houses shall be destroyed. All right. So that's what's gonna happen. All right, people's houses gonna get destroyed, looted. All right. You know, Jake is gonna go into these suburban neighborhoods. All right. And you know, when the food supply gets short, that's what's gonna happen. Jake is gonna go in these suburban areas and hunt out these crackers. All right. And you know, all hell is gonna break loose. All hell is gonna break loose. And the point of this video was to basically show that this election time is going to be a key time to watch for um, this martial law and for all these things to kick off, because it can very well start once these elections and these tensions start brewing in America. All right, so that's pretty much it on that. All praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, Shalom.